PERMA, as the human flourishing model, was introduced by Dr. Marty Seligman. Let's look at what PERMA stands for. P stands for positive emotions. We briefly discussed positive emotions and the way to introduce some, such as hearing these beautiful birds. Most of us know when we feel good, and most of us know when we feel good and what we need to do to feel that way. Positive emotions are the basics of being happy, but not enough to improve our overall well-being. If you know that going out with your friends, partner, family, seeing the movie, playing sport and such will give you positive emotions, go ahead, do more of it. Other things that give you pleasure may not be so great for you if you do too much. So we have to watch that, such as eating too much chocolate, just generally eating a lot of junk food and so on. There are actually ways we can build positive emotions, and here are some ideas. While I was teaching Dale Carnegie program, I realized how important it is to remember people's names. Almost the entire lecture of 3.5 hours was dedicated to learn name remembering techniques and put it to practice. During the practice, when people successfully remembered many names, not only did they feel really good, but the other person whose name they remembered also felt very good. I suggest you learn other people's names. Use it in sentence when communicate with others whose name you didn't know before. And that will bring positive emotions to you and the other person. So encourage your friends and colleagues to share their great life, best moments, and peak performance. Listen to uplifting music. Send paper greeting cards. I know we're not used to that anymore. Be curious. Be kind. Understanding positive emotions, I believe, was simple, right? So now let's move to the next letter. E stands for engagement or flow. What does it really mean to be fully engaged or to be in flow, as Dr. Mihail Csikszentmihalyi calls it? So what's flow? Flow is an effortless action, and yet the moments stay as the best moments in our life. Athletes call it being in the zone, right? That's when they are in the flow. When we're fully in the flow or fully engaged, we completely in focus on the activity and nothing else matters. I'm doing this lecture now, nothing else matters. I'm truly in a flow. So how can we increase the chance of being in a flow? How can we be in a flow even more? Learn to become mindful and appreciate the present moment. This moment right now is all we have. You're listening, I'm teaching now, I'll be listening. This is all we have. Past is gone. The future hasn't arrived yet. So this is what we have. Try to appreciate present moment. Do something you have never done before. We talked about brushing our teeth with a non-dominant hand. Not only will you become even more mindful, but if you create a habit of this exercise and you do it for 30 days, research shows 21 days, 21 to 30. I would say anything you do for 30 days or more in a row, meaning that you brush your teeth with non-dominant hand for 5 days and you skip it for 4, and then you do it again, that doesn't count as 5 plus 4 plus 1, 10. No, start from the beginning. That's really 30 days, needs to be in a row. Or if it's just 5 days a week you're creating a habit, fine, do it 5 days a week, but not 3 days a week. So, you will actually increase your willpower based on the research if you do something you have never done before. You can find more about this again in my other Habits and Happiness program. If you are lucky enough to have your grandparents spend time with them, listen, get engaged. Savor those precious moments. Savor precious moments with your friends, partners, family, kids. That will bring you in a flow, will bring you more happiness. So not only that you will be mindful, it will bring you happiness in this moment, but also as you savor the moments, it will bring you happiness in the future. So also, using your signature strength will help you improve many characteristics of happiness, including the flow and engagement. And you can get your set of character strength at this website, viacharacter.org. We don't have a lot of time now to talk about it, but I highly recommend you go there and get your strength. We'll probably touch base later on character strength as well. R stands for relationships. You know, we will have the entire lecture dedicated to relationships and we're going to discuss what kind of relationships are the productive relationships that have something we call, active constructive responding. You'll see that later, that relationships are, based on the research, the number one predictor of happiness. So people who have a strong supportive relationships, the chances are they are happy people. Let's just touch base briefly on relationships. So we spend a lot of time interacting with people, and again, based on the research, people that have higher quality, not quantity, social relationships are happier people. But what can we do to build even better and more positive relationships? How about we start with listening? It's amazing that listening is one of the skills that maybe lately but it hasn't been taught in colleges, and yet it is one of the most important skills. And you can truly have amazing relationships just by listening. When responding, provide what we call the active constructive responding. We will learn, again, more about this lecture later on. Ask questions. And again, listen. Listen to understand. Listen to be able to get engaged in discussion. Listen to be able to help.